What's up, Crypto Club? Louis here, and today I'm bringing the crypto news of the day. Today's date is the 1st of April 2018, and I'm going to bring you everything to the cryptocurrency in the last 24 hours. Starting off with the market cap for the day, it currently sits around $245 billion as the cryptocurrency market is in red C mode. As you can see from the top 100, the majority of coins are in the red and by a considerable amount. If we look at the top 5 here as well, you can see Bitcoin's down around 7.59%, Ethereum's down around 9.45%, Ripple down around 8.87%, Bitcoin Cash down around 9.28%, and also Litecoin is down around 8% for the day, and this is around 4:40 GMT, so that is a timestamp for you there. And if we look at coinmarketcap.com, since it's April Fools, as you probably know, I won't be making jokes today, but I'll note on some of the jokes that have been made already. And the one here we have on coinmarketcap.com is that they've basically calculated the cryptocurrency values in Lambos. So if you click on the actual Lambo symbol here, you can see they'll give you the price of all the different cryptocurrencies equated to a Lamborghini, or the price of a Lamborghini. So for example, the volume for the last 24 hours is 2,001 Lambos in terms of for Bitcoin, and I worked out that the Lambos I think are equate to around $200,000, near enough for them to actually be measuring it in Lambos. But it's just quite funny they do that, because obviously it's a running joke in the cryptocurrency market, and there's something to see there. And it also gives a different perspective on the cryptocurrency market, and kind of makes fun and shoots jokes at basically the whole Lambo community surrounding cryptocurrency and the get rich quick scheme about it. So if we look at the top growth for the day, we have XP up around 35%, probably being pumped for the day. Ravane up around 2.44%, Verge up around 1.24%, and Tether, when you see Tether is in the green for the day and is one of the only ones in the green, you know it's a bad day, as it's up 0.5% for the last 24 hours. In terms of the worst performance of the day, we have Walton Chain down around 22%. I believe this is because people are selling their Walton Chain following the announcement of the mainnet release on the Walton Chain platform. And as you sort of know, the rule goes, usually when good news like that comes out, lots of people sell. There's a massive flooding of selling in the market of people that have been holding the cryptocurrency for ages, waiting for this news like this. You know, sort of buy the rumor, sell the new situation, and sell on the news of the mainnet, and therefore you have a massive dip where people probably actually expect the good news like a mainnet release to actually cause an increase in price. But that is the market we live in. That's speculation for you. Mithril as well is down around 20.69%, Storm down around 18.64%, Tron down around 17.43%, and iOS token down around 16.43% for the day. So it's looking quite grim in terms of the market there. Let's get into the first piece of news that we want to talk about today. This is about Nuo and how they're going to open the first ever crypto bank branch and ATM in Singapore today. So basically my understanding of this is that they want to open a crypto bank branch that's going to be autonomous, and they're going to have no actual bank managers, and therefore it's going to cut down on employee costs and things like that. So it says here, today is an important milestone for us becoming a global bank in the future. We are announcing the launch of our first ever crypto bank branch and ATM in Singapore. This will be the world's first decentralized bank branch without a branch manager, as I mentioned already. All the processes in the branch are completely automated and decentralized, ensuring no queue times at all. Also, our users from around the world can visit the branch and avail our services at no extra cost. So they set out to do this because they want to create a bank without bankers, and eliminating branch managers is just the first step to remove queues basically, and customers can be served straight away. And they're introducing the advanced artificial robot account managers sort of situation or system with the AARAM. It's going to manage customers personally at our branch, as it says here, and this will basically allow voice-based commands to get answers to their important queries regarding crypto prices, private keys, decentralized loans, etc., without being annoyed by frequent calls to invest their savings in new insurance policies and stuff. And also to book your very own AARAM, you can install the app and sign up right now, and they basically have a limited time on this. So it's something you want to be interested in if you want to get involved in the future. And I think it's starting off in Singapore, but they're looking to go global. Customers visiting the branch can also use the world's first crypto ATM and to deposit or withdraw Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Bitcoin Cash. So they're going to be the three they have support for now. They're also going to be adding support for Ethereum and other ERC20 tokens soon. As well. This ATM is completely decentralized, and you can directly log into your account using your MPIN or fingerprints. So it's very interesting information there, and this is what it's going to look like by my understanding. Very, very exciting to see that the future is now, and it's coming in fast. And Nuo are really innovating the whole crypto bank scene, and that'll be very exciting to see with the fully autonomous nature. Next thing I want to talk about here is St. Kitts and Nevis, which has a population of 50,000, basically plans to have 100% adoption of Bitcoin Cash by the end of this year, driven by BCH ATMs and Purse.io, says Roger K there, and also Satoshi's Vision, or that is hashtag Satoshi's Vision. That's what they're setting out to do. Very interesting to see this from CentB as well, which is a wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and payments processors. So they're setting out to do this, a payment ecosystem even. So this is interesting to see, because Bitcoin Cash has really been something that's been less and less adopted recently. We've had on KuCoin that they've cut the pairs for Bitcoin Cash, and we've had other situations where people see the actual adoption of Bitcoin Cash dwindling because of the release of the Bitcoin Lightning Network, and also with SegWit, that kind of removes the actual necessity for Bitcoin Cash as a fork of Bitcoin to improve on transaction times and efficiency as a whole. So it's interesting to see Kitts and Nevis, St. Kitts and Nevis basically adopting this, and it's being so widespread adopted that it's going to be 100% adoption for the population of 50,000, which is a fair bit of people that are going to be fully incorporated with the system. Obviously, probably a fraction of that will actually use this system, but it's interesting to see that, and it'll be a good way to sort of see how this will work going in the future with 100% adoption of a cryptocurrency. This news is slightly old, probably a week old, but it's something that I didn't talk about before that I think is very, very interesting, and it's starting to gain some notoriety recently. Next thing we'll talk about here is in terms of another town sort of going on, is that a British town, Hull, is basically going to create its own cryptocurrency. So I don't know if you're familiar with the British town of Hull, but they are setting out to create Hull coins. A British town that doesn't have a great reputation, it says, but perhaps they're trying all they can. So in this case, a cryptocurrency supported by the Hull City Council, the NHS, the local university, Hull College Group, the Department of Work and Pensions, and 140 participating retailers are going to create Hull Coin and come together. So everyone within the local community is backing the experiment, which has some interesting twist from other projects we have seen as it is a social aim. The idea is to provide local groups with bundles of coins at 500 per instance. Then they can give them out to volunteers, or if there's particular need, or if a person shows up a particular improvement. So individuals are rewarded with the coins, then can receive offers from local businessmen in the way of discounts from 5% to 50%, advertising 25% discount for 10 of the whole coins. So it's going to be an incentive to kind of volunteer and sort of work harder, show some sort of improvement. You'll be rewarded in these whole coins, and these be contributed to create discounts for local businesses as well, which is very interesting to see in a mini ecosystem like Hull, to see this work as a community. Really going to bring the community closer, and really going to give an incentive for volunteering and improving as a person as a whole. So to keep the coin economy running, businesses can allocate them as a bonus for their own employees, give them as a reward to certain customers, or simply donate it back to the local community groups. And it has a diagram of how it's going to work here. This is very, very, very interesting here. As it says here, it's been in development for a very long time, so it looks like they're really bringing it into fruition now. But I think this is amazing. It's really going to bring the community together. It's going to bring a new dynamic. Obviously, if it doesn't work, it's not going to be the end of the world. But it sounds like something that's really in the pipelines. It might actually have a good chance at innovating something special for local communities to come together and increase the sort of volunteering aspect of a community. And Hull, notoriously a great city in England, or town in England, is trying to improve their sort of volunteering status and their social sort of responsibility, and creating this incentive to improve the daily runnings of everyone's life. Next thing we'll talk about here is the Google ICO. You probably didn't know about the Google ICO, but Google have kept a low profile and when it came to blockchain and cryptocurrency, as it mentions here. And while competitors such as Microsoft and IBM started initiatives in the emerging distributed ledger sector early on, it seemed that the search engine giant completely missed out on the trend. But only a few weeks ago that Google announced that it will no longer allow advertising for cryptocurrencies on its own advertising platforms, YouTube, AdWords, things like that. The reason for this could be clear, because the parent company Alphabet announced in a press release they have been working on a new blockchain solution. Today it was announced that Google will launch its own blockchain with an initial coin offering for a brand new cryptocurrency. So I talked about them releasing their own blockchain recently, but I wasn't aware they were actually going to release their own cryptocurrency, and they're going to call it the Google. And the ticker symbol is basically going to be GG, like good game, but GG in this case for Google. And there's the logo there, I believe. I'm not sure if it's the final one, but basically the summed up details from this article on Blockchain Center says that with an airdrop, half of the tokens will be distributed free of charge to all users who sign away their privacy and data protection rights to Google for life, which sounds a bit daunting when they say it like for life and things like that. Interesting way of going about that, but you know, it sounds like a little thing now, but it could come to bite you in the ass later on. I don't know how they're going to go about this. Probably Google's plan to take over the world, but they're also going to have the cryptocurrency being called Google with the ticker symbol GG as we mentioned before, and there will be a 10 to the power of 100 tokens initially. So I was interested to see how much that actually was, because that sounded a really large number in my head. Looked it up, you come onto Wikipedia here, and you can see a Google is actually 10 to the power of 100. So they've named the cryptocurrency to kind of be similar to Google in itself, but also to sort of reflect the 10 to the power of 100 coins they're going to be distributing, and that is a very, very large number, and it's also got the name of Google, so it kind of all works together. More clever than I initially thought. Interesting to see there, but that is a lot of coins, and I have to see how much are actually going to be distributed in these airdrops. Also, we have here, if they succeed and global demand is not met, Google reserves the right at the request of the e.g. at the request of the central banks, or in the event of a financial crisis, to issue new Googles. Interestingly enough, they already have enough of them, so even more in the system will kind of take away from the fact of being called Googles, but also will be, increasing on a number this large. Interesting there. Artificial intelligence is expected to detect transactions and with a suspicious background, so that Google's at the request of the FBI, CIA, and co can be invalidated. Since Google knows at all times who owns how many Googles and which transactions are valid, the energy hungry proof of work consensus procedures with miners like Bitcoin is no longer necessary. Interesting that they're going to come away from the proof of work sort of situation there, and the Googles are going to be fully distributed, and they're going to be sort of tracked, and they're going to be aware of the transactions, where they are at all times. And this is probably Google, as I mentioned before, they're planning to control the world in some way. Maybe they'll become like Big Brother in the future, but they're making people sign away their sort of privacy and data protection rights to Google for the rest of their life with no choice about it, and also to track basically where all these Googles are going and distribute it to as many people as want it. Interesting way of going about it, and we have to see the sort of way they're going about it. It sounds like they want to kind of control the population almost. It might not be malicious, but it's something interesting. Let me know what you think about in the comment section, but I'd love to hear your opinion on the situation and whether you'll be signing up for the airdrop and signing away your privacy and data protection sort of rights for life, which sounds daunting now, but I don't actually think it's that big of a deal, because I think most of us have already done it to apps we probably shouldn't have, programs and signups we already shouldn't have. Next thing I want to talk about here is Reddit and how they stopped accepting Bitcoin payments. So if you use Reddit on a regular basis like I do, you probably understand that they do have something called Reddit Gold, where you can buy sort of reputation or the Reddit Gold from using Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency. They started accepting the cryptocurrency back in 2013 for a partnership with the popular online Bitcoin exchange Coinbase. And basically, to sum it up, with the whole change in Coinbase's actual sort of terms and conditions, and the change with Coinbase in general, and also the fact there's some bugs around the system that they're using at the moment, they're going to no longer accept Bitcoin to buy Reddit Gold. So it's going to take out that whole ecosystem factor in Reddit, and that's a big thing because the cryptocurrency sort of community collides on Reddit. That is basically the hub of the cryptocurrency community. It is absolutely massive. It's one of the most trending topics in the world, and also on Reddit, and that is sort of where everyone commutes to basically come together and talk about everything cryptocurrency. Is where I get a lot of my news sources from, my data sources that I like to talk about in these videos, and it's something very interesting to see that they're cutting away from the Bitcoin support, which I don't think is a positive thing, but obviously will have some sort of influence in the future. Next thing I want to talk about here is Neo, and basically on the April Europe tour they will start with Neo Amsterdam on the 14th of April, with the biggest Neo event in EU organised by community, with 6 new projects will be unveiled at this event. This is massive news. They're going to unveil 6 new projects regarding the Neo community, the Neo Smart Economy blockchain, as they call it. So this is very exciting news. They're going to basically present all these new projects. They're going to work hard to making Neo as great as possible. A lot of people are very excited about it. As one of the early adopters of Neo, this person says here, this is fantastic news. Credit to you and the entire team to continue to work hard on the behalf of all holders. Can really see your vision becoming a reality. Very excited for that. Great to see that there. So we have to see how that goes in the future when they do actually announce this on the 14th of April. Last thing we'll talk about here is some controversial data here, and this comes from basically on GitHub. There is an article coming from Vitalik Buterin, the co-founder of the notorious Ethereum or Ether, whatever you want to call it, and this article is basically regarding that he wants to basically cap the Ethereum total supply at 120 million Ether in the actual circulation. So he wants to cap total Ethereum or Ether supply at about 120 million. Currently Ethereum, if we look at the actual circulating supply for Ethereum, sits just around just under 100 million Ethereum, and that is the circulating supply. There's no actual total cap supply yet, and Vitalik Buterin, as the co-founder, does have a lot of say on this, and it's obviously something he's discussing probably with the community and developers. There is some comments on this as well. It's sort of to control the economic stability of the platform under the widest possible variety of circumstances. There's a lot of information behind it, technical information explaining why he wants to come out with this number and why he wants to do so, which you can read in the description below. I won't go too much detail about it, as you can be more interested in it yourself if you want to read that below. I'll leave it in the description below as the other articles I talked about today. But that is going to conclude the video for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this has given you some sort of light on the news for today on April Fool's today. Other than the Lambo sort of situation, there seems to be no real jokes about April Fools in the cryptocurrency market, and that seems fair because there's a lot of people's money in the circulation, and you know, it's a lot of people's money to play with. You're going to make jokes about that, so I think people are avoiding it to avoid any sort of you know, backlash. But anyway, that's going to conclude the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Crypto Club. Please like the video and also comment down below what you thought of the news for today. Also subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification icon to be notified when I next upload. This has been Crypto Club, and I'll see you in the next one.